professional mixed martial arts career. So he got the win.
Hey everybody, you are listening to the We Are RIZIN podcast. This is your host, Andrew Benjamin. I'm joined again by a returning guest. With us, we have Damien Beatdown Brown, fresh off his win from RIZIN 15. He defeated Koji Takeda by unanimous decision in a lightweight bout. And Mr. Brown, thank you very much again for willing to talk to us once again.
Alright, man. Thanks for having me.
So first I gotta ask, how do you feel after, once again, getting another win at RIZIN?
I feel awesome, man. Well, to start with, physically I feel amazing. A few bruises in that I got, but besides that, I feel awesome. And as far as getting my second win in RIZIN, I feel really good. I signed a 2-fight deal and I won both fights, so I feel like the relationship with RIZIN is just getting started.
Well, I also gotta ask, how do your eyes feel? Because I think there had to be at least 2 or 3 eye pokes during that fight.
3 eye pokes and 1 was a punch. It went straight in my eye anyway. But that feels alright. Like I had a cut maybe from a fingernail or something like that, from an eye poke. I had a cut just under my eye. But besides that, I feel pretty good. It was just frustrating.
Okay, well, one of the things I want to do is analyze the fight with you. I got the fight right up on my television, and for anybody who wants to watch the fight again, it's available on Fight TV. And one thing I got to ask is, when you came across your opponent, well, actually, during the weigh-ins, I was astounded by how tanned your opponent was. Were you just surprised by how brown he was? He looked like a cooked turkey.
I noticed that weeks before when they offered me the fight, and I looked him up, and he normally bleach blondes his hair, which I think makes it look like 10 times as bad. But it's one of those things, isn't it? I don't know whether he's got an actual tan or whether he's just, I don't know. It looked like a fake tan, didn't it? But maybe it's just a normal tan. Who knows?
So I just want to talk about the first round. So the first round, was the strategy, well, basically when you came to this fight, was the strategy to be, I mean, obviously not to be taken down, but was that something you specifically trained for, was not to be on your guard for any takedowns during the entire fight?
No, my whole strategy was to, we worked everything off leading with the right, so he's a southpaw, so just the way that he wrestles, he always shoots with his head to the left, so right punches, right straights, right uppercuts, and right knees. So that's why I always dip to the right through the right hand, or fake the knee through the right hand, or through the right knee. Like he shot onto a knee a couple times. It was a jumping knee and a flying knee and that in there. So everything was like on the right hand side with a check left hook if he went the other way. So he double jabs and he goes to the left hand side. So we had that check left hook there, but he kind of clipped him a couple times with that, and then he just sort of started going straight again. So everything was just about, like, our plan was to knock him out. We thought we could knock him out or submit him. I didn't believe that his jiu-jitsu was better than mine, and I definitely didn't believe that his striking was better than mine.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're right. I felt like I had better wrestling as well going into it, but when someone's advertised as a wrestler, you kind of got to give it credit. So I give it credit where credit's due, and I was cautious of the wrestling, but I don't think he's no Division I All-American wrestler or anything I need to worry about. So yeah, it was everything went to plan.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed that he did throughout all 3 rounds is that he kept his hands down a lot, nowhere near his head or his chin, and it just right happened in the first round. You got that right. I think it was a right on him. Where he and it just he seemed to underestimate your power, or was at least not taking it seriously. Was that something that you were kind of, I guess, surprised about, that he was just keeping his hands down for much of this fight?
Not really. I mean, the thing is, man, I'm 34 years old. The kid was 22. I went into the fight knowing everyone's dangerous, but with age and fight experience on my side, one of the key factors when you're in that position is to overwhelm your opponent. Like, they're always going to be nervous. At some point in the back of his mind, unless he's a straight killer, he's going to be thinking to himself, this guy's had 4 times the fights I have, and he's 12 years older than me. So it's like a boy fighting a man, and it doesn't mean that they're weaker or not as strong or not better or anything like that. It just means, like, he's young in the mind, and you need to play to that. And I felt like going into the fight, we could put enough pressure on him to make him make bad decisions. And the thing with keeping your hands down is he's a wrestler. Like, wrestlers don't always keep their hands up real high. You know what I mean? Like, it's a style thing. If they want the takedown, their hands are going to be around the bottom of their chin or the high chest. Mm-hmm. So they tend to bomb a lot of overhand rights, or in his case, overhand lefts. They don't throw them straight down the pipe. They throw them big and explosive so they can follow up with the takedown. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't surprised by where his hands were. I was surprised by him overreaching in his reactions. So, like the Superman punch in the 3rd round, I just faked the knee. I didn't even throw it. And he overreacted with the hands and reached. And that's what gave me the punch.
Oh, we'll definitely talk about that. Now, in the first round, it's about 30 seconds left in, and you put he's kind of just jumping around the ring. You put your hands up in the air, like, what are you doing, man? Was that what you were kind of signaling to him? Like, are you going to engage me in this fight or anything like that?
Look, man, to be honest, I just felt like, so it's a bit weird, right? Like, my teammates give me a bit of cheap for it sometimes, but the louder the crowd is, the more I get dragged into a brawl. So, like, if the crowd goes nuts on the right hand, I'll, like, put my hands up, like, yeah, let's go. And they get a bit dragged into the emotion, a little bit like Koji Takeda, I guess. You get dragged into it, man, you know what I mean? And you become an entertainer, and you forget your game plan. Well, the thing in Japan is the fans are, like, silent, man. You hear a pin drop in that stadium. There's like 20,000 people there, 30,000 people, 10,000 people, and it doesn't matter how many are there, it's dead silent. So it's like sparring in an empty gym, and from a noise point of view, so I put my hands up a little bit to get myself into it, like I got to feel like myself in there, so I put my hands up and sort of like to call him on and just be like, yeah, let's go. And it's more like a mind thing for myself, I just mentally get myself into it. Like, I really did feel like we were sparring out there. And it's an interesting thing because, I felt aggressive and I felt like I was looking for the finish, but maybe just the different environment made it a bit, I don't know, a bit different. So I just had to get myself pumped up a bit. And, he was on the back foot the whole time. He wasn't really coming forward. And I am like a bit of a counter-striker, so, I'm definitely offensive, but I counter-strike a lot. And I felt like I was chasing him the whole time, and we could have put on a bit more of a show for the fans.
Mm-hmm. Now in the second round, he immediately got a takedown on you, and you almost had that guillotine reminiscent of the Darren Cruikshank fight. Did you just not have it in properly, or was he too fast for just to get it in a proper lock-in?
No, I had the chin in properly, but he did a good job of moving his legs to the opposite side of the choke. Mm-hmm. In the middle of this, like, as I put it on, he did a great job of moving his legs to the opposite side of the choke and flaring me out and hitting the deck, but then I squared up again. And that's when he sort of cut the angle and tried to take me through the ropes. But yeah, it was on around the neck. It was he did a real good job with his body of putting his body in a good position and not get submitted.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to talk about so it's the middle of the second round, about 2 minutes 30 seconds in. He seems to be getting very, very. I'm trying to think of the word, but I don't know if he's getting tired or if he's getting hesitant as the rounds are going on. Did you get that sense that he was getting tired or that he was just getting hesitant to just engage as the rounds went on?
Man, those right hands I was hitting him with were hard, like real hard. The kid's tough, like he hung in there, but man, I would be very surprised if the right hands weren't making him hesitant. Like he was, I throw a lot of single shots in my fights, but I was throwing 4 and 5 punch combos and like they were all landing. Like I really was piecing him up. Every time we got into an exchange, he'd throw 1 or 2 and I'd throw 5 and they'd all land. So I think when that happens to you and someone's out striking you and they put pressure on you going forward, you've got to be hesitant to strike with them. Then he couldn't get the takedown because I defended a couple of them. And, even the first one he got, I defended it because I dropped the elbow into the trap. I defended it, then I went for the choke, which is why he got it. But, yeah, he tried a couple more times after that. He just couldn't put the timing together to get the takedown. So, I guess he was hesitant, but he was also stuck in this position where it's like, I can strike with this guy, but he's beaten me. I can't go forward because I'm on the back foot, and I can't get him down. So what do I do next? I'm 22 years old, and I can't adjust to what's going on because I've only had 8 fights. And that's not an insult or anything. It's just a simple fact of the matter is he just is inexperienced and he couldn't adapt to it. He'll learn from that, man, and he'll get better from it. He'll adapt going forward.
Yeah, I have right now where he's trying to do a judo trip to you, but you are defending it very well. Where he has your back and he's trying to sweep your leg, but you're just basically dead weight on him. He cannot move you at all.
Nah, look, man, like people think, he's from Australia, he's got no wrestling and stuff. Like, I train with phenomenal athletes. Like, I train with a guy out here in Australia, Aaron Blackie. He's represented Australia in judo everywhere in the world. And he's been in Japan heaps of times doing judo. Like, it's not like I don't have the training partners to help me in those positions. Sure, we don't have like that Division 1 All-American wrestling. I haven't done judo my whole life, but I train with a lot of guys who are high level in their areas, and I am never unprepared for a fight. I can take the fight to anyone. I can defend whatever I need to. And I didn't feel like after that first time, I felt like he only got me down because I went for the choke. And so I feel like, when I stopped going for the chokes, what he was going to get me down again. So, I felt good, man. I felt strong.
Now we got to talk about the third round where that Superman punch. He just fell right in. I would almost say it was like a gift that he gave you, just coming right in. What were you surprised that he almost kind of just jumped like so wildly into you and open himself to that Superman punch?
No, not really. If you have a look just before it, I actually put my hands down right on the end of his punches when I found my range. So I was right on the end of his punches. I put my hands down and I drew him in. And as I drew him in, I faked the knee and dropped the right hand. And so it was all set up. The whole thing was set up. I've been doing it the whole fight. So yeah, no, I'm not surprised that he walked into it. I drew him into it.
Now with that, you had him rocked, and you definitely did try to finish him, but you weren't able to. Was there something? Was the? Can you just talk about that? How come you were not able?
Hey guys, I'm gonna order coffee in the middle of the podcast. Yeah, can I get a medium long black with some cream in it, please? And I'll get a small flat white. There we go. We can keep going now.
Oh, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm just ordering coffee.
Okay, so I just want to talk about right after you got the Superman punch on him, and you had him rocked. He was definitely walking back, and you were trying to finish him, but unfortunately you just weren't able to. Was there something that just happened during that exchange that you weren't able to finish him, or were you looking at...
No. So I hit him with it, and I was touching him with shots, and his legs went. I knew he was hurt. I guess I rushed up a couple of times and he threw those push kicks, which probably just gave himself enough distance. But he did a good job of cutting some angles, and what really happened was I looked up the clock and realised there was 1:57 to go, and it's a long time to gas yourself out if you can't finish a dude. So, I chased him down for 15, 20 seconds, and he didn't go away. So I needed to pull it back a bit, start picking my shots again. And I knew if he was hurt, that I would piece him up. I'd keep picking my shots and picking him apart. But I also knew that if the opportunity came again, I'd put him away. But it just didn't come, man. I know that I can kill that. I can kill any wrestler with my guillotine. People will shoot into it all day. So I knew that if he kept trying to shoot, at some point I would finish him with that choke. But I just kept touching him with that right hand, going forward, causing damage. He was bleeding. The RIZIN scoring system is 50% scoring is damage. 30% of it is control and aggression and trying to finish the fight. And the other 20% is work rate and volume and stuff like that. So I knew that I was winning, man. I was going forward. I was trying to finish the fight. I had the closer moments. I caused more damage. He was bleeding. I wasn't. I didn't need to do anything crazy and get caught or get taken down with 1.5 minutes to go and held. And not only that, I'm fighting an undefeated Japanese guy in Japan. I don't need to be taken down for a minute and spend a minute on my back before the judges make a decision on who won the fight. So I just think while I was being aggressive and trying to impress the fans over there and trying to fight the way they want me to and entertain, I also knew that what was on the line. I'm on the last fight of my contract in Japan against an undefeated guy. I need to win this fight. So I didn't try and be, too safe. I tried to finish the fight, but there was a lot on the line going into that fight.
And like I said, I think you fought a very smart fight. Just so happens that the guy you were fighting was not seen to be. It was one guy who was fighting another guy, and the other guy didn't realize it was a fight. I felt like.
Yeah. That's how I felt too.
And but you did come away with a win. I gotta ask. So, what is the future with RIZIN now? Did they offer you any more fights, or is there anything that you can talk about regarding?
They've expressed interest in extending my contract and re-signing me, and they did that straight away. And that's my intention, is to re-sign with them. I know they do crossover fights with Bellator. I have no intention of fighting in my own country. It doesn't interest me. And I like Japan. I like the way I'm treated. I like the way the promotion treats me, and I get the opponents that I feel like I'm warranted. Cruikshank was a massive fight. Will Brooks has called me up. I mean, that'd be a cool fight as well. He's like a better version of what I just fought. So he's been the Bellator champ. He's beaten Michael Chandler twice. I feel like that fight's a high-profile fight that can headline or co-headline a RIZIN card. So it'd be nice to re-sign and put that one on the line. I think a victory there sets me up for a cross-promotion fight with Bellator. I think, I see lots of things in my future if I re-sign with RIZIN. And I think at the point where I'm at in my career, it'd be nice to do that. So that's what we're working on at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the Will Brooks fight, but yeah, you already brought it up. But also, there's another...
It's just a mutual respect, man. He called me out. I said, who wants to see?
Hey there, Damien. Can you hear me?
Hey?
Hey there. Sorry,
What's that?
it went dead on your end.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I just looked at my phone and it was gone. Yeah, so like the Will Brooks fight, I think it's a really cool fight to get, and I think that it sets up a lot in the future. So we're working on it right now, man. We would like to be on RIZIN 16. I'm happy to do it at catch weight. It's only 4 weeks away. I don't care what weight I fight at. We're both lightweights. We both fought at lightweight for a long time. So, you know, they want to do it at 73, 74. I'll do that too. Doesn't worry me, man. It's just a fight.
Well, I'd also like to ask about Jason Knight. Any interest in fighting Jason Knight in the future?
Yeah, man. I wanted to fight him in the UFC again. There's been no real trash talk. Just Jason Knight being Jason Knight, but. You know, there's been no like real trash talk or anything with Jason. It's been pretty good, you know. But he got released by the UFC. We had a bit of back and forth when I was in the UFC. Trying to fight him at 145, but since then, he got cut, same as I did, and then he reached out over Twitter and was like, "I want to make that fight, so let's do it." You know, we asked for it as well, and I said, "Man, get your people onto RIZIN. Get signed. Let's make it happen." They're cool fights. They're cool fights against people who want to fight. They're high profile. You know, they're co-headliners. They're headliners and co-headliners of fight shows. They're the type of fights that people want to see. So that's what I want. You know, I never wanted to come back and fight on the local show. I wanted high profile, violent, technical fights that entertained crowds and had people talking. And if that meant that I won a few fights in a row and I got back to the UFC, then so be it. If not, man, I love Japan and I just want to keep fighting. So if Jason Knight wants to get it, we'll dance.
Did you happen to see his bare knuckle fight against Artem Lobov?
Man, I've seen the highlights and that was enough for me. It was crazy, right? Like I talked to bare knuckle when I got released by the UFC, and it was a consideration. I was training for it at one point, but it just never really eventuated. So, but I'm comfortable with what I'm doing now. I know where I'm at. So yeah, like bare knuckle's cool to watch, but I don't think I need to do it. My hands are bad enough as it is.
Mm-hmm. And so actually, with the it looks like this RIZIN lightweight tournament will be happening, though. Is that something you still want to be a part of, though? I know we talked about it before.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course I want to be a part of it, but I want to stay active, you know, like 34, I turned 35 in like 7 or 8 months. Like, to me, it's like sitting around waiting for a tournament is not what I want to do. I want to stay active, and if that means I fight in start of June and I win, or if I lose, whatever, if I'm not injured, I'll do a tournament again straight away. I don't care. But I don't want to sit around and wait for a tournament. Like, it hasn't been officially announced. There hasn't been brackets announced. There hasn't even been official talk. Like, no one said to me anything about it happening on a certain date. So I can't sit around and wait for something that's not official. I just want to fight. So let's match them up, knock them down, and the results are what they're meant to be. Then I'll be in the tournament anyway. But yeah, I just want to stay busy.
Mm-hmm. So one of the things I also want to talk about with you, because the RIZIN commentators did bring up your work with veterans, and one of the things that they said is a very interesting story about, I think it was an Australian veteran who apparently had to wait 8 years to get his pension.
Yeah, so there's a lot of veterans that fight the system. You know, like they get medically discharged, but then they get classified into different classifications as to what they're entitled to, and they'll always try and classify you lower, like unless it's a clear-cut case. But if you're fighting for a higher classification, like the lowest classification gets no pension, you just get some medical assistance. So you get no pension or anything like that, and then the next one up you get a little bit of pension, some medical assistance, and the next one up from that you get like a full pension. That basically means you can't work. So there's guys out there that can't work who are fighting the system for pensions, and they're not getting up for a couple of years, 2-3 years. But yeah, I do know of a case, not a very close friend of mine, but like I know of a case that took 8 years for him to get it approved, and when he got it approved, he got his pension. But like, you know, it's not about whether or not you got it. It's about the 8 years in between that it cost you, what it cost you to fight for that, what it cost you. You know, like my argument has been with them the whole time is, man, you want me to not work to be entitled to a pension, but if I don't work, I lose my mortgage, my car, my family, everything. So there's veterans out here that lose everything and commit suicide when they could have been supported better. But they just go in a downward spiral all the way to the bottom of the pit until they go and commit suicide because they can't. Like, things should be pushed through. These guys have been on deployment. These guys have seen things that normal people aren't meant to see. You know what I mean? And there's no support for them. So yeah, it's disappointing. But I don't like do work, so to speak, for veterans. Although right now through my gym in Brisbane, I'm attempting to create an environment in a community where I can support veterans, and also work with a couple of different organisations that support veterans and assist them in physical activity for mental health. But really, what I try to do is just create a platform. Use the platforms that I have, such as RIZIN and Time on the Microphone and interviews and that, just to raise awareness and let veterans know that there's light at the end of the tunnel, and that they need to keep fighting. We were built for this. We've got a government that builds us for war, and we're built to fight. And there's no quitness, and that's not what soldiers do. We don't quit. We go down swinging. So I just want them to know that there's people out there that think about them and that care. So I just raise awareness for it and talk about it when I can, and get the word out there about some of the stories and that. And if the time ever comes where I can have a charity and run different things, and that's what I'll do. But yeah, right now I'm just not in that position.
Now I'm not familiar with how the Australian government runs in terms of what they do for veterans. I only know what goes on in America, but is this something that's been a problem when you were stationed, when you were a soldier, or is this something that's recent?
The thing is, they just don't. They spent a lot of years just kind of denying that there was a problem. Like, oh no, we don't have a suicide problem. We don't have a mental health problem. Well, you lost 40 plus soldiers in a war, and now you've lost like 300 or 400 or 500 in suicide post-war. So, at some point you need to admit that you have a problem with suicide and mental health. And I think they denied it for so long that now they're chasing the 8 ball trying to catch up, because they denied there was a problem, but when there was. And now that they've finally accepted it and come out and said, you know what, we do have a mental health problem, now that they've accepted it, they're always going to chase the 8 ball trying to catch up. So, yeah.
I think
it'll get better over time.
Are there any organizations that you would recommend that, whether they be international or just based in Australia, that you know for a fact do help veterans, that maybe someone can donate to or volunteer for? Are there any organizations that you can recommend of?
Mates for Mates in Australia are pretty good. I'm not sure about international, but in Australia you got Mates for Mates, Soldier On. There's a couple of good ones out here doing things for veterans. So yeah, that's pretty good.
The one that I know of that I contribute to is the Wounded Warrior Project. Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have heard of them.
Yeah, they do a lot of good stuff in my eyes for veterans of all kinds, specifically also disabled or I'm trying to think of what's the term, if you've lost a limb or stuff like that. They are my go-to for the when it comes to helping veterans in the United States.
Gotcha. Yeah, right. I have heard of them, but yeah, out here we've got a couple of different ones that do different things, and they're pretty good. So I think there's a lot of them that don't, but there's a couple of good ones. But I just raise awareness and just do my thing, and hopefully in the future I can run some charity events and stuff. But it's really just showing support for veterans and showing them themselves that I'm out here thinking about them, because I'm one of them and I know what they go through.
Speaking of your gym, it's been open for about, has it been a month or so since it's been open?
6 weeks, yeah.
So how does it feel to be, this long so far, this long into running your own gym?
It's good, man. I got a real good team. I'm putting things together. We run stuff for public classes, not just fighters. So we got beginners all the way through to fighters in the same group. We mix it up, and we're creating a real good community of people that can come in. People that have had anxiety and they can't go to normal gyms because of the stigma and all that sort of stuff that comes with it, and uncomfortable feelings. And so, we're trying to create that environment that makes it welcoming for everyone. And I think that we're doing that. And we've got good member numbers, and people are loving it. And more importantly, I'm enjoying coaching as well. So, that's real nice.
Do you feel that there's a lot of gyms, MMA gyms out there that are not as welcoming as your gym? It's kind of a I guess I'm trying to think of the word, like it's a very jock mentality where it's not
that they're not welcoming. It's just that it's exactly that. It's a jock mentality. It's like you need to fit in with their system, and if you don't fit in, then you're made to feel like you don't fit in. I think that happens a lot, and that's just it's an ego-driven environment. Gyms are full of alpha males, and that's just, I guess to a degree that's the way it is. But I'm trying to break that with mine. I want the opposite. So yeah. Things are happening now. I'm really happy with it.
And you did mention also before that veterans do get a discount at your gym. Is that still going on?
Yeah, so I give veterans 20% discount on all membership prices, and they get all their memberships put on hold if they're still serving and they've got to go away for work reasons for more than 2 weeks, and we cancel their memberships if they ever get posted, so they don't have to pay it out or anything like that. So we do what we can to help them. That's not just veterans, but that's all emergency services, so police, fire, ambulance, emergency services, and correctional officers.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So right now, what are your plans to do in between now and whenever your next fight is? Are you going to still be training? Are you going to take a vacation?
I train every day, but right now I'm just about to get in the car and go away with my family for the weekend. So I can't wait to do that and really just have a weekend away from everything. And we've got a public holiday here on Monday, so we get a long weekend, and just go away and relax and spend some time. And when RIZIN or anyone calls up and I've got to fight, my manager lets me know, then that's what we're going to do.
No,
we're going to fight.
You certainly earned a vacation. 2 wins in RIZIN, and definitely going to be looking forward to the next fight. I want to give you an opportunity to plug your sponsors, your team, your gym, and anything else that you want to plug now, Damien.
Yeah, look, man, everyone just get Base Training Center, at Base Training Center on Facebook and Instagram and follow. That's my gym. And, follow me, Beatdown155, and I just want to thank my sponsors, Australian Sports Nutrition, Engage Industries, Confidential Tax and Business Services, and Fight Life. Those guys do a lot for me. They really help me out with my fight camps and everything else. And also thanks to my gyms, Team Compton Training Center, The Garage, Bros Jiu-Jitsu, and obviously my own gym. So, a lot of people help me out, and I'm really appreciative of that. And I'm super happy since I signed my new management group as well. So, Gym Man Group have really helped me out. So, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So we were talking to Damien Brown, fresh off his win at RIZIN 15 against Koji Takeda. And Damien, we definitely would love to talk to you when you get your next fight in RIZIN, whether that be at RIZIN 16 or whenever it is. But we'll be definitely talking again soon. I hope we can.
Awesome, man. Thank you for that.
No problem, no problem. You have a great day now, and enjoy that vacation.
I will, man. Thank you. Bye.
Take care.